Can Scott Single retire this year at the ripe young age of 62? All right, sorry for my unkemptness. I got out of the bed. I just couldn't. Something hit me in the head. I said, "Man, I got to do this video because it's nuts." All right, so I think we have our retirement paradigm wrong. Actually, look, I get we have this thing. We need this number. Whatever that guy's name was from Prudential. What's your number? It turns out he's a big lib, by the way. That bald guy with glasses. For about 10 years ago, every retirement planning was a bald guy with glasses. It was weird. Every retirement planning expert was some bald guy with glasses. The white guy bald with glasses. The weirdest thing, man. I can't remember that dude's name. The guy's a clown. But anyway, be that as it may. So you had this whole thing about what's your number? What's your number? And they had commercials on this and people interviewing, what's your number? All right, but it's always premised on bad information. Your numbers got to be premised on good information, which is your expenses. Nothing else is more important than your expenses. You got to know it. You got to know it. Take the time to figure out your expenses. It's hard to do because when you're working and you got cash flow coming in, I'm telling you, man, how much you spending. I've been thinking about this a lot, actually. It's just like I think we got it backwards. How much are you spending on crap that's killing you? And I'll get into this later, but just, oh, man, I tell you. So I've been buying HelloFresh. I freaking love it. Probably costs about $800 a month, but man, it's fantastic. I cook. We don't eat out that much anymore. It's good for you. All the ingredients right there. Yeah, it takes about an hour to cook. It's kind of a pain, but man, I tell you, it's fantastic. And been going to a lot more local farmers, joining a CSA. Haven't done that yet, but I tell you, man, health is critically important. And when you're just buying all kinds of stuff, going out to eat all the time, they're cooking in vegetable oil. You don't know what they're putting in there. You don't. So if you can cook your own food, olive oil instead of vegetable oil, just whole milk instead of skim milk, you'll spend less because you'll have less health expenses to pay. And less money on freaking insulin and less money on other crap that you don't need if you can just get your health in order. But the problem is no one knows what they're spending. And we're too busy in the convenience of life to go buy McDonald's or something like that, or go to your local freaking restaurant every day for lunch. It's killing you, man. And if you can just narrow that down, you'll save a whole lot in retirement on your other crap because your health is saying, please feed me right food. All right, anyway, so we got Scott Single, and he's gone through the ceremony where he says, how much do I need? Well, I got no mortgage. A, I'm 62. B, I've been working for 35 years. All right, we're going to dive into this here in just a second. C, and I got my expenses down. I need about $3,500 a month. All right, that's what I need because I'm single. I don't do a whole lot. 35, that's $42,000 a year. All right. And if I keep it at $42,000 a year, interesting, huh? So let's dive into this here. So the first thing we got to do is we got to go over to Social Security, the indexing factors here. All right, and I'll put links in the show notes. But so we're going down here and we're saying Scott Single is 21 years old. All right, so we're going to hit submit request, and I'll talk what this means. So we're saying in the Social Security, here we go. So we're computing. You were born in 1959. This is your first year of eligibility is in 2021, which means you'll be 62 years old. All right. So if you were born in 1970, like me, your first year of eligibility would be 2033, I think. Let's see. Or 2032. 2032. I was born in 1970. My first year of eligibility would be right here, 2032. That means when I'm 62 years old, my first year of eligibility will be when I'm 62 years old, which is when you want to put it into the system. So if I was born in 1965, I got to figure out what my first year of eligibility is, and I put that in there. I guess I'll be 2027, your first year of eligibility. You'll put the year for which you turn 62, all right, and then I'll give you that number. All right, so let's go back to Scott Single. He was born in his first year of eligibility is this year. He'll be 62 in 2021, so we're going to hit submit request. All right, so then we're going to copy all these things right here, and we're going to put them onto a spreadsheet. All right, so right here's our spreadsheet. Now, we're going to say Scott Single, for some reason, he didn't start working until he's 26 years old. So he's got 35 years of labor in there. So you go 1985 all the way down to 2020. All right, so they've got 35 years of labor. That's it. No more, no less. Hope that makes sense. We take his earnings off his Social Security statement, his annual earnings. Take the time to type these in, handwrite them in, however you do it. Just take the time. Take your Social Security statement and put them in here. All right, so we're going to say when he started working, whatever it was, digging ditches, shoveling poop, I don't care. He was making $25,000 a year in 1985. That's what he was making, $25,000 a year in 1985. Does that make sense? Now, $25,000 a year, according to Social Security in 1985, is the equivalent of $80,000 a year right now because we take these indexing factors. This is critically important. Your indexing factors is what says your first year of eligibility, what were your previous year's earnings, and we times them by that indexing factor. I hope that makes sense. So you take your year in 1985, how much your indexing factors were based on the Social Security indexing statement. Look, you notice I'm starting here in 1985. So that's when I first started working. I highlight, copy, and paste them. All right, so now what we do is say we made $25,000 in 1985. We take our first year of indexing, we times those together, and that gives us $80,398 in today's numbers, because today's numbers are what we're basing the Social Security payment on. Now, we're going to say next year we made 3% more. We got a 3% raise each and every year. So we're not even going to say we got a bump on salary. We just got a 3% steady raise. So $25,000 in 1985, we had a 3% raise. So in 1986, we have $25,750. 1987, we have $26,522. You can see all that. So we're timesing 25 by 1.03, and that gives us that. And then we take this number and times it by indexing factor for 1986, and that gives us that. Hope that makes sense. So we do this for our 35 years. Now, look, if you started working in 1982, you got 39 years of labor, not 40, 50. So I started in 1984. My first year of Social Security, I was in 1984. It was only a couple $100. But Social Security only takes the top 35 years. So don't make the mistake that you got 40 years. It doesn't matter. Don't make the mistake of saying I got 50 years. That will add to my benefit. No, it doesn't. It's only the top 35 of indexed years, all right? Index years. So going back to this, for me, I have something in 1982. All right, let's just use Scott. He has something in 1982, and we'll say that year he was only making $15,000. All right, and so we're going to go back to the indexing factors in 1982, and that was 3.77. And we're going to go here, and we're going to say, okay, Scott, what did you make that year? And let's see what it tells us. It's $55,844. That won't be included because it's not bigger than all my other years. It takes my top 35 of indexing numbers. So $55,844 from 1982 labor isn't bigger than any of my other ones, so this will not be included. I cannot stress this enough. It's only your top 35. It's a mistake a lot of people make. They put 50, so I should be getting $3,000 a month. No, not if you only have your top 35. All right. So what we're doing here? All right, so we're going. So he's got 35 years of labor. When did I do that there for? 1985. No, weighs 20. So he started working weighs 26. That's what I meant to say. All right. So we take all these, we add them all up. That gives us a total, not annual, total indexed earnings of $2.5 million. $2.5 million. All right. Everybody with me so far? We divide that by 420. Why do we do by 420? Because that's your top 35 years of indexed earnings divided by 420, because that's 35 years. 35 years times 12 months is 420, because now what we're trying to get is our average indexed monthly earnings, our AIME, which will give us our Social Security payment. Our average index monthly earnings is $6,019. All right. Again, all we care about is our AIME. That's what we're trying to accomplish. So we take our top 30. We take our top 35 years of earnings. We index them for our first year of eligibility. In this case, is 2021. We sum them all up. That gives us a total indexed earnings. We divide that by 420 because there's 35 years of 12 months each. That gives us 6,019 is our AIME, our average indexed monthly earnings. Then we go over here to the bed points. Basically, we say, hey, 6,019, I got 996 is my first bed point, and 6,002 is our second bed point. I'm not going to use a six. I'm just going to say we got 6,019. So basically, what I'm saying is we have 2 bend points. We really got 3. The third bend point would be $10 at 15%. I'm just not doing that. So basically, hear me out. Most of us aren't going to have 3 bed points. So we take $996. We times that by 0.9. Their first bend point is you get 90% of the first $996. All right. The second bend point is you get 32% of the next amount from 996 up till 6,002. Just for simplicity, I'm just going to say it's all in the 32% point. In reality, I would have had 10 at 0.15. But I don't want to do that because it's just too confusing for right now. So 996 is your first bend point. You times that by 0.9. You're going to get $896 of your first 996 of average index monthly earnings. The next roughly 5,000, you'll get 32% of that. So we add 896 plus 1607. That is your total PIA, your primary insurance amount is 2,503 because we add these 2 numbers. All right, so if you wait till your full retirement age, if you're born in 1959, your full retirement age will be 66 years and 10 months. So we're just going to say 67 for simplicity. Your FRA, your full retirement age is 67. So your PIA at your FRA at 67 will be $30,000 a month. Now, $30,000 a year. However, we're talking, can old Scott Single take it at 62? So his full retirement age of his PIA, the PIA against the amount, the primary insurance amount, 2,503, is what you'll get at your full retirement age, 67. But if you take it earlier at 62, your benefit will be reduced. I'm saying roughly 30%, give or take. It's roughly 30%. If you wait till you're 70, your benefit will be $3,104. So if you wait till you're 67, Scott Single, you'll get $30,000 a year, or $2,500 a month. If you take it early, you'll get $21,000 a year, or whatever that is. $1,500, about $1,700 a month, $1,600 a month. If you take it later with delayed earnings credits, it'll be $3,100 a month, or $37,000. But again, we're trying to say Scott Single. He's saying I'd like to take it at 62. All right. So we calculated he needs $3,500 a month because his mortgage is paid. But what about health insurance? Hang in there now. He needs $3,500 a month. That's what he's calculating. So that's $42,000 a year. All right. Now, if he takes Social Security at 62, he'll get half of that from Social Security, and half he's got to come from someplace else. $20,966. How do we get that? Because we took this right here. What do I take? B43. This right here. We subtracted by this right here, the 21,033, which is he'll get at his earliest eligibility of 62. And then what we did is we divided that by 5%. Because I have a 5% rule. I like the 5% rule. It says, look, 5% of your asset base you can take out each and every year. In this case, we're not even giving him any growth or anything. We're just saying, basically, if you had $420,000 and you needed $42,000 a year, or $3,500 a month, that you're ready to retire. But what about inflation? Well, Social Security has a cost of living adjustment. This does not. I'm not even saying you get a cost of living adjustment, but you could. I'm just saying at the end of the year, even if you got no interest, you could still take basically $20,000, $21,000 a year out without, and it'll be there for 20 years without even getting any growth on it. If you got a little bit of growth, it's better. No other way around that. But by then, he'll be 82 years old. He still has Social Security. Oh, he's got a paid off house. What could you do with a paid off house? Oh, that's right. You could take a reverse mortgage. Interesting, huh? So can Scott Single retire? Absolutely. If he's got $420,000 and he needs $42,000 a year. $420,000 minus $42,000. That's a 10% distribution yield. No, it's not. because his Social Security is going to give him half that. It's a 5% distribution yield without even touching, without touching the principal. 5% distribution yield without getting interest. That money will be there for 20 years. Oh, by the way, how much does Scott Single pay in taxes on $21,000 from his IRA plus $21,000 from Social Security? Let's take a gander, shall we? Here we have Scott Single's effective tax rate, 9.9% when he's 68, 6.6% at 64. If we go to the 1040, let's go his first full year here. He's got $21,000 of Social Security, of which he's only paying taxes on $6,200. He's got $25,000 of money he's taken out from his IRA. So his total AGI is $31,000. Still qualifies for Obamacare. He's paying off $2,000 in taxes. Just no big deal. All right, so let's fast forward a couple more years when he's on Medicare. Now we'd need a little bit bigger distribution here, $34,000, $35,000. But he's got $24,000 of Social Security, of which he's only paying taxes on $15,000. His total income is $50,000. He's on Medicare at this stage, so it doesn't matter in terms of Obamacare or anything like that. He's an effective 5% or 10% tax bracket. Just not that big of a deal if you ask me. So what happens here, he runs out of money right about there at 79. But did he really run out of money? And I have him invest in the Ginnie Mae, by the way. We're just putting him in the Ginnie Mae. So let's take a look, shall we? Let's go to cash flows and say, where is his account? We'll go to net worth. His qualified assets run out right there at 78 years old. But you know what he's got? Oh, he's got $371,000 of a home that's paid for. Now I'm only giving him a house that's worth $250,000. I think I got it growing at what 2.5%. Right. So we go to retirement. We go to net worth of cash flows, and we say, well, he hasn't run out of money because we know for a fact he's got income coming in. All right, let me look at this. Where's his income coming from? It's coming from the Social Security. So when he's 79 years old, he quote ran out of money. He still has $31,000 coming in. $31,000 coming in. That's $2,500 a month. That's in the future, I grant you, but that'd be the equivalent of roughly $1,600 a month. Today will be $2,500 a month in the future. Has he run out of money? Of course not. And he's still got a net worth of his home at that point is worth $371,000. He's 78 years old. Why would you not take reverse mortgage of that? Forget about half that. What's that? $160,000, $170,000 or something like that. So if you had $170,000 on a reverse mortgage, and why would you not use that? So when you see his analysis that says 0%, you're like, yeah, but you still got income. And you still got a house that's paid off. That's why the important thing is to make sure you pay off your house. Now you can say, okay, I only haven't invested getting what in Ginnie Mae, he's getting all of 2.4%. If we put him in a let's see, a conservative portfolio, like let's go maybe this right here. Maybe like a Wellesley or something like that. Will that change the equation? Let's see here. Let's put him in a Wellesley conservative portfolio right there. Will that change the equation? Only got a 4%. I frankly, whatever, man. And you'll see if we got take Social Security at full retirement age instead. What does that do? I frankly don't find that to be that big of a deal because he has a house. And again, he could take a part-time job. He says, I'm getting out of my crappy old job that's mandating the jabba jabba. I'm going to get a part-time job for, we're going to say, add income. We're going to say part-time job for 5 years. Scott's part-time job. We'll say $20,000 a year for 5 years. And we're going to say it starts, we'll just say right 2022 because he just quit his crappy old job, and we'll do it for 5 years or something like that. See what that does differently, shall we? And we're just gonna say it's we'll just say it's earned income, no big deal. All right, so now he's got $20,000 a year coming in. What does that do? I don't know, but at the end of the day, I'm like, he's still got a house that's paid. Now look at that. So at this stage, if he takes Social Security, I want to go to early as possible. I'm just using this for example. He takes Social Security as early as possible. All right. He puts his money into a Wellesley fund. He's got 28% probability of success. He's still got a net worth at 7 when he runs out of money here which would be at right about here at 85 years old, he's still got net worth of $400,000 in a home. The value of a part-time job. Anyway, the point being is this. Oh, by the way, this included Medicare. I want to show you guys something as well. So, what I got was what about healthcare? All right, so he needs $3,500 a month, and we got Medicare. Okay, so here's the on Obamacare. So he probably doesn't want to take a part-time job. Well, I guess he could, because he could. Yeah, that's what he should do. If he took that part-time job, what he should do is defer Social Security for sure, man. Because if you're working part-time, you don't want to be taking Social Security and go up against the earnings test. So we'll do full retirement age right there, and we'll just say invest in the. Let's do current allocation. Yeah, you don't want to go up against the earnings test, because if you're before your full retirement, look at that, man. Just make sure it took. It seems like if you're doing this, make sure you hit twice. Sometimes, yeah, look at that. So taking Social Security, so he works a part-time job from 62 till he's 67 at $20,000 a year. He's pulling from his retirement accounts in the interim. Check this out. So he got 20,000 coming in. He needs 45 going out the door. So he's pulling 30,000 from his retirement accounts. 30,000, 35, 33. And now he's got Social Security kicking in right here, 34,000 a year. He's pulling 21,000 from his portfolio. He's invested. How do we got him invested? Let's see here. We'll go to invested assets. Yeah, he's making what's that? 14,000 on 384. So we take our trusty calculator. 14 divided by 384. He's making 3.6%. Still a big deal. We go to current plan. He's making, so a current plan, he's making 8,700 on 3.6. That's a Ginnie Mae right there, man. If we go back to analysis, the current plan is all in Ginnie Mae. And right there, he's still at a 2% probability of success, but you're like, dude, at the end of the day, under the current plan, you got 21,000 from your part-time gig. You're taking 35,000 out of Ginnie Mae. Now Social Security kicks in. You're taking 34,000 from Social Security because your full retirement age was $2,500 a year adjusted for inflation. You need $53,000 because you're on Medicare at this point. And Medicare, I got costing you $500 a month, which is what I have everybody costing. So now you're pulling 21,000 a year from your portfolio. If we go to net worth, at that stage in the current plan, your money runs out at 88. It's doable, my friends. A lot of different ways to skin this cat. And by the way, we still got this house that's worth $400,000. All right, love to hear your thoughts. Thanks now.